Okay, this is a video on how to change the air filter on your Wolverine X2 or X4. And there are two filters in here. There's a foam filter, and underneath the foam filter is a paper filter. I'll be going over both of those. Fairly straightforward. Pop all those snaps, lift the lid off, and you've got your foam filter here, and you can see the paper filter under there. And this just lifts right up and out. You can see this filter is clean. That's because I am in the middle of testing a clean Yamaha stock air filter setup versus the Uni 2-stage filter setup, and you can find the link to that video in the section below. So I'm going to take this over to my workbench and show you how to remove this foam filter and put a new one back on. Quick change of plans. Before I go over replacing the foam filter, I want to show you how to replace the paper element and talk about releasing the tabs on the plastic lid of the foam filter frame. Those can be difficult the first time. Okay, so I got that filter element cleaned. While we wait, went ahead and cleaned out the inside of the air box. Just wiped it down with a Clorox bleach wipe and then dried it off with a paper towel. Cleaned all the pine needles, and that's all I had in there. But if you have leaves or whatever, get those out of there. I highly recommend you do that before you remove the paper element. So now I'm going to go ahead and change this. Pretty straightforward. Just remove the screws. And remove the element. So inspecting down in the hole, looks very clean, so I don't have to do anything in there. And this is it. So looks okay, so I'm going to save it as a backup. New one goes in. Doesn't appear to be a top or a bottom. So new one looks just about the same as the old one. Not too much different. So before I put the foam back on the cage here, I wanted to show you something that you're going to need to work with. See these two little tabs here, here and here. That's what holds this lid on. They're kind of tough to deal with the first time you're trying to get them out of there because you're not sure what to do with them. But you can see, you either push them in. If you can get your thumb in there, you can easily get them out. But when the filter's in place, it's not so easy. So I've been kind of playing with it. And you can also get your hands under this plastic here. You can't really see that, but I'm pulling out and it lifts up. So I'm kind of doing this kind of motion to get them out of there. So that should help you work with those tabs the first time. And I read online that if you broke one of those off, it's not a big deal because the lid holds that down anyway. But just another tip. Okay, so I'm going to get started on showing you how to remove this foam filter from the cage or the frame and how to put the new one on. So these are the tabs I mentioned earlier. Hope I've got them figured out by now. Just going to try to get my fingers under here. Lift that off. Yeah, that actually worked out pretty well. So this filter just slides right off. Thankfully it's pretty easy. Actually went on pretty easy too. You just kind of gotta keep fighting it on there a little bit to get it to go down into this groove, and I'll show you. So the new one, which is the same size as the factory filter, and slides down pretty easy. You got to make sure you get it all the way down in these grooves, and it'll be almost flush to the top, maybe flush to the top when you get it down there all the way. You just got to keep working it, pulling it, and kind of peek inside there, and you can see it get it all the way down. And actually this one went on a little easier than the Yamaha one. So you get that in there, and You also have to get the top around the entire filter, obviously. And when you get that in there, press down, make sure the tabs are set, and it's ready to go back in. After you get the filter installed on the frame, it just drops right in here, and snap the lid back in place. Okay, so you got your filter back in. The last thing to do is put the top on. I've modified my top with these uni air vents because I'm in the middle of doing a comparison between the stock filter and the uni filter. You can check that out in the detail section below. There'll be a link. Put that in. Get your snaps and you're done.